Welcome back to another episode of the Miracle Marketing Podcast, where we bring you interviews from business owners, celebrity guests, and hot topics. I am your host, Brandon Adams, along with my co-host, super producer, Big Perion, who hopefully will be joining us in the show today. You know, he's always making those hits for everybody. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. And if you would like to be a guest on the show, send us an email to amiraclepodcast@gmail.com. On today's show, we have a legend. She's been in the game for a long time, and you guys probably remember a lot of the hits that they produce. So, without further ado, we're going to bring Miss Cheryl Cooley from the group Klymaxx onto the show. Welcome to the show, Miss Cheryl Cooley. How are you this morning?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me on your show. I'm doing great.
All right. All right. Well, thank you for taking your time out the day to join us and be on the show. You guys are celebrating your 40th anniversary of the meeting in the ladies' room. So tell all our viewers about that.
Oh, yes. Well, right now we're doing a mini tours, kind of across the country to celebrate the many years of people enjoying meeting in the ladies' room and the menopause and I Miss You songs that we have out, and just really enjoying, interacting with the audiences and so even sometimes we have some special guests, sometimes with the headliner, sometimes we're not. We just kind of, putting some good shows together to highlight the many talents out there, as well as spotlight Klymaxx and all the legendary hits that we've had, and have a lot of fun on stage, and meet the new fans and the audiences and the loyal fans, and interact with them, and like I said, just have a lot of fun on stage.
Well, that's great. You guys have a new single out called Love Me. I was watching the video earlier, shot in my hometown of LA, and you guys were at Santa Monica. And
Yeah.
I saw some skating in the video. I'm a big skater. I skate all the time, so
Oh,
that caught my
okay.
eye. So
Mhm.
tell us how that song came about and also the concept of the video.
Oh yeah, yeah. So it's written by our lead vocalist, Christy Malone, and just kind of a song about, even though you're a career person, career woman, and you're, driven for your passion, your job, your craft, you still want someone to love you, to recognize you, to, just kind of give you that special feeling of being desired by somebody. And the song is a little more in depth about the feeling and the emotional side. So we kind of wanted to make the video a little more lighthearted. So the video is, kind of a play on the words, and showing some of the activities, the band getting together and just loving on each other. When we get together, it's not always, just work, 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 the music, music, music. Sometimes we get together to just kind of release and have fun, and enjoy each other's company. And so the video is kind of intermingling the two ideas together.
Okay. All right. So you guys, you're originally from Chicago.
Yes, uh-huh.
Okay. Okay. And but you live in LA.
Yes, I live in LA. I've lived in LA most of my life, so yeah.
Okay. So which cities do you is it like you when you go to Chicago and perform, is it like which one is you feel is like home now?
Oh, that's a hard one, because every region, every city has its own kind of personality. The one thing about Chicago, a lot of my family is still there, so it's like, playing for my family. And then there's a lot of family that lives in Los Angeles too, but there's a lot of my classmates that sometimes will come to the show. So it's kind of a family reunion in both places.
Okay. Okay. I get it. I get it. Trust me, because I'm from LA originally. I live in Vegas now. So, going back home, all my family's still in LA. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, but I'm just right next door.
Yeah.
So you have new members. Are there any original members besides yourself from the group?
I'm the only original member.
Okay. All right. So tell us a little bit about how the original band came and then how the new band
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
transitioned?
yeah, so originally, none of us knew each other when we got into that rehearsal room. So there was many different stories about, how life just kind of drove us together. Because I was actually rehearsing with another band, had just kind of recently graduated college and was playing in different bands in the Los Angeles area. And I was at a rehearsal, and a few of the girls kind of came in and said, "Hey, you don't want to play with this band? You want to play with our band? We have an all-female band called Klymaxx."
Hmm.
So, and then one of the other girls, she had originally auditioned for Rolls Royce, and they
Okay.
told her voice was too strong for the music, so they sent her over to us. We had put ads in the paper looking for musicians. So everybody kind of had their life story, how they all of a sudden wound up in the rehearsal room, and we developed our sound. And I was uh, working in a bank also at the time, and I was telling my supervisor about this all-girl band I was in, and she said, "Oh, if you give me, a demo tape and a picture and a bio, I'll give it to my uncle. He's a producer for People Bryson at the time." And so we, gave him our promo package at the time, and he listened to it, and he didn't like it. So, but that's a but there's a lesson there, because even though one door closes, that doesn't mean another door won't
That's very
open.
true. That's
So
very
he
true.
happened to be having lunch with the one of the executives at Solar Records, and he said, I got this all girl band. I don't think they're that good, but here's their tape. And she listened to it, and she fell in love with it. She could hear the potential. She called me and asked when the next rehearsal was. She came to the rehearsal, brought the president of the record company of Solar Records, Dick Griffey, and they signed us up immediately. I mean, we weren't even together a year, and they signed us up to a Solar Records contract. So from there, we we recorded the song "Never Underestimate the Power of a Woman," which I wrote the demo for. That's what got us the deal, and we ended up recording like 5 albums with Solar Records
Wow.
over a period of almost 10 years.
Okay.
So I always encourage any artists out there, upcoming artists. Even though one person doesn't like your song, that doesn't mean somebody else won't like your song. There's millions and millions of people out there. So just do what feels, creative and natural to you, because there's always some sort of audience out there. And our legacy of Klymaxx is a very good example of that, because people weren't ready for an all-female band at the time we came out. We
Mm.
had 2 albums that didn't do very well. Our first 2 albums, I mean, they were released and popular, but they weren't as popular, when people could see our Meeting in the Ladies Room album, where videos started to come out and they could visually see what an all-female band looked like. And then, of course, our style, kicked off, and people really gravitated to Klymaxx. And even today, we are still the only R&B all-female band that has charted on Billboard. So, it just kind of takes a time, but determination. Just keep putting your craft, your talents out there, and trust me, somebody will gravitate to it some kind of way, when you least expect it. Um, but as time went on, for Klymaxx, some members decided they wanted to move on and do their own solo project. So our last album, called The Max Is Back, we ended up only having 3 members in the band at that time. And then, the music business kind of changed. The 90s came in, and being a live band wasn't, popular anymore. It was more about playing to tracks.
Hmm.
So after that, we had to disband, and like, I don't know, maybe 8, 10 years later, I get a phone call saying, and the reason why I was called is because I still have the same phone number since then. So, well, our old manager called and said, "Hey, Cheryl, if you get the girls together, I'll put you on some old school shows." Well, this was like the 2000s at this time.
Hmm.
And so, I called the original members, and, I got the excuses, and I'm too old, I'm too fat, I got too many kids, it's not going to work. It wasn't going to be like the 80s, and no one could really see the vision of what it could be. So
Mhm.
that's why I really wound up being, the only original member. I really believed in the idea. I really wanted them to come on board, but the personalities that, broke it apart the first time were the same personalities that were kind of fighting me for the whole idea. So, but I continued on, and people gravitated to the music because it's really all about the music of the Klymaxx legacy, and that's why I'm still performing now today, because people are buying the tickets to the concerts and coming to see us because it's all about the music.
Mhm.
It's not about the person as much as it's about how the music made the listener feel,
Mhm.
whether they're hearing it for the first time or they're hearing it from back in the day. It's about how the music makes them feel. And so, we've been having great audiences attend our concerts, and, it just really feels good to play music full time again. I'm really enjoying it.
So how did the new members come about? How did you kind of end up getting to meet them?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Again, there's so many different ways because, here in Los Angeles, there's a plethora of musicians, and, you just kind of put the idea out there, and somebody knows this person, somebody knows that person. Of course, we did put some ads out in some of the, musician papers, and
Mhm.
some people answered the ads for that. So it was, it's been a period of time of, really getting the right chemistry, because it's all about the chemistry and the music and the the stage and everything to get the members that are performing with me now.
Okay. All right. So you were just here in Vegas not long ago and you were performing with was it Howard Hewitt?
Yes, yeah, we performed with Howard. And playing with Howard again, he was on the same label as Klymaxx. So we had done a song together called I Still Say Yes, and he came on stage and sang it along with us. So that felt great that he supported us in playing the song.
That's great. So let me ask you, how did the famous line "Don't slap me" come about?
Oh, wow. I mean, a play on words, just, kind of in LA, we kind of twist meanings of words around. Well, I mean, I guess all over they kind of twist meanings of words, but, it was about, I'm looking so good, but don't slap me because, I'm not in the mood. In other words, it's like your compliment. It's like, girl, let me just slap you because you look so good.
There you go. I always wondered how did that come about, and I remember it, that line. It was always a famous line in the song.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yep. I remember, I don't know which band member it was, but growing up in LA, one of the band members was a relative of one of my classmates, and
Oh, wow.
one of you guys came to my school when I was in elementary school. It was I was I can't remember which band member it was, but they came and signed the autographs and everything for all of us. That was at my school, Faith Lutheran, back in the day.
Oh, wow. Oh, Faith Lutheran. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Yes, Lutheran. Yes, I went to Ascension Lutheran, so I understand.
Yep, Faith
Yeah.
Lutheran, right over there off of Manchester.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yep,
Okay. Yeah.
yep, yep.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
So what's coming up new for the band? What you guys got going on? You got some new tours, got new music?
Yeah, actually, we're getting ready to go back out on another little mini tour. Actually, next week we're gonna perform in the Annapolis,
Annapolis. Be the
Annapolis
DMV.
Juneteenth
Yeah.
Festival on September 21st, and then that's going to be sharing the stage with Shorty
Coleon.
Corleone and Sharice Reese, and with the also with a go-go all-female band called Belladonna, and we'll all be on the stage together for that Juneteenth celebration. And moving on to Sacramento, not Sacramento, Fresno, the next day for that Juneteenth celebration. June 22nd, and we're actually the headliner for that show. So
Oh,
it'll
great.
be quite a busy next weekend for us.
Well, great. Well, great. So how do you feel about how, music has evolved and changed a lot from playing in bands, going into the studio recording? Do you still go into the studio record? Do you record at home? Do you have a studio at home? And now everything is digital where you can just
Yeah, yeah.
stream. So how have you learned to adapt from the way things have, evolved?
Yeah, actually, one thing about being an instrumentalist, that the old style of recording will always be there for me. The pushing buttons and moving knobs has never really been my thing, but, grabbing the guitar and, putting a song together is always my basic go-to. But definitely, we've done a lot of songs where we did go to the studio because for me, the engineer knows those frequencies and things how to tweak a lot better than I would. So that would be the reason why I would go to the studio. But we also will initially, sometimes start a song at a home studio and then take it on to an actual studio to tweak and make it better. Because a lot of new artists out there don't realize that some of those frequencies or some of those EQs are very necessary, even though you don't hear them in your iPods or you don't hear them on your computer. It's very necessary to when you submit your music that it is, a complete file with all of the frequencies involved. Because if you, just mix it to what you hear, at home or in your headphones, it's not going to have the same fullness in sound is if you actually go to a studio and hear in the speakers that is would come out. Like for instance, it may sound good on your computer, but then when you put that song in your car stereo, it's a drastic difference. So you always want to go to the bigger sound and mix it to that, your car stereo, your home stereo, listen back to it and make sure, everything sounds full. Make sure you send the correct file to whoever you're download or uploading it to, rather, whether it's iTunes or your website, so that the listening ear or the listening audience gets that full perspective of the sound. Because if it's too thin, a lot of times the listener will get disinterested in it and move on to the next song. You want to capture the audience, you want to capture your listener and make them pretty much sit down and listen for the whole song because they're enjoying it. They're enjoying the sounds, but you have to give them a full perspective of that song and sound. So
So,
we do both.
I have a
Yeah.
question for you. If you can collaborate with any new artist
Oh,
today,
you
who would it be?
it's I don't know. He's not new, but my favorite go-to artist I would love to collaborate with would be Bruno Mars. Because it's still for me that's like the funk sound that I really enjoy playing. I like music that has a lot of rhythm and real girth to the structure of the sound and a driving rhythm, that groove.
That would be dope. Maybe you can get up there and play the guitar for him.
Uh-oh, I don't have it with me.
That would be great.
You
That
know,
would be great.
also, I also, I'm gonna have a new song released out with Cherise Reese, who's also gonna be on the show with us. And I played on the song and did a guitar solo on her song. It's called "Feel the Same Way," so that should be coming out pretty soon. Yeah, yeah, with "Feel the Same Way" with Cherise Reese, and I'm also kind of collaborating and playing solos on her song with her. So. Yeah, if I had known to set up my guitar, I would have had it for you.
Do you write for other artists?
I have not. I basically write for my own, own aura of music. I mean, I guess that's not really true because what it is sometimes the song is already written and they'll just ask me to come in and kind of add some stuff to it. So yeah, I guess that is kind of a collaboration. But as far as starting from ground zero, I've never really had the opportunity to do that, but they kind of call me in after, a lot of the song is already done and ask me to add on to that. So I guess it's a yes or no question to answer rather.
Okay. All right. All right. Cool. Where are some of your favorite cities to perform in?
Oh, wow. Oh, I enjoyed performing in Las Vegas. Um, let's see. I don't know if there's really a favorite. Of course, well, I do enjoy performing in LA because all my friends can see me. The East Coast, New York was great to perform in. Gosh, I don't want to not answer to some of the cities out there looking for me and say, "Oh, she didn't say my city."
Well, hey, it's just wherever you like to perform. Do you ever like performing overseas or in any other places?
I haven't done overseas, kind of this turnaround, but
Just in
there's
general.
talk. Name one of the cities overseas that I
No,
like.
I'm like over the years, just like a city that
Oh
you.
yeah, I enjoyed performing in Tokyo, Japan. That was great. They're they pay attention to detail so much that really fascinated me how their production and the staging was very everything was just so automated and detailed,
Hmm.
and the audience was so captivated by us. So that was really intriguing to me about, because it's like they're standing still the whole time, but then when you finish the song they're just all into it, and you're thinking because they're not moving and dancing that, oh, maybe they're not liking it, but then when the song is over you see all this gratitude about it. So that was really interesting.
Wow. Okay. Okay. And I know overseas, a lot of times they're some of the biggest supporters a lot of times over than the states of your
Oh
music.
sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
most
Yeah.
definitely. So how did you guys do you guys engage with your fans over social media or anything?
Sure. Way too much. Yeah, we do. I mean, we definitely interact with our, social media viewers. Sometimes they send me messages or questions, and I'll reply back. I don't have any, problem with replying back to the viewers with that. Sometimes they'll ask about, when a show is going to be held in their city, and I'll, take a look at the calendar and let them know about that. So yeah, I mean, we're on all, our website is klymaxx.com, KLYMAXX.com, and all of our social media is there: Instagram, Facebook, what else we got? TikTok. TikTok. I'm on TikTok way too much.
Uh-oh. Okay, you a TikToker?
Whoa, it's way too much. I don't even talk about it. It's bad.
Okay,
Oh,
Cheryl, creating some TikTok videos.
right, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, all of our social media is right there on the website. We have a mailing list if people want to keep track of what our calendar is. We have a merchandise store. We got a lot of good merchandise on our website. So, I encourage your viewers to go to our website and check out what's going on there.
All right, viewers, and I'll give you that website uh, so that way you guys can check that out. And let's see here. Let's see what I have the website
Yeah,
somewhere right here. Yes,
KLYAXX.com.
Klymaxx.com, Klymaxx.com with two X on there.
Yeah.
Most definitely. And you guys make sure you go ahead and support the new single that is out. The new single is Love Me. And then is there one other one that's out as well? I think I saw.
Yes, we also have a song called For Woman. It's a women's empowerment type of song. And I really encourage your listeners to, just check out both songs and, support and, get them on iTunes and check them out.
All right. Well, Cheryl, I have one other question for you. What
And
are
then I'm sorry, we also have a song, Love Bandit, and I Bet You, and it's got a video to it also. So yeah, check all that out on the website.
what are
And
some
you,
of your hobbies when you're not performing?
oh, well, I used to do electrical. I used to be an electrician for a while. I like
Oh,
doing
really?
little construction things here and there on my house, so I enjoy that. Um, I used to go camping. I like that, but I don't know. It's kind of not the thing anymore. But I used to like go camping and all. But I don't know, doing little stuff, little projects with my hands and fixing things up. that's really therapeutic for me.
Okay. All right. Well, we're not going to hold you. Before we go, just tell our viewers one more time where they can follow you on social media. And you're going to be performing Juneteenth. Where's that at?
Okay, Juneteenth festival in An Annapolis, Maryland.
Okay.
That's going to be on June 21st. And then Fresno, California, also the Juneteenth celebration in Fresno, California. And that's on June 22nd. Social media for Instagram is Klymaxx Music, all one word. Facebook is also Klymaxx Music, one word. And even TikTok is Klymaxx Music, one word. Most of the social media is Klymaxx Music, all one word. Our website again is klymaxx.com, Klymaxx.com. So, yeah, I invite your viewers to definitely sign up for the newsletter and check out our merchandise store. And
follow you.
yeah.
All right. Well, everyone, and Miss Cheryl, thank you for taking the time out of your day to be on the show. Enjoy your music, keep the vibe going with the ladies and everything, and really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be on the show. And keep those TikTok videos coming. We're gonna check them out.
Do the whole working thing, like what are they doing now? But
All
yes,
right.
thank you so much for having me on your show.
No problem. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Okay, you too. Thank you. Bye
All right.
bye.
Bye.